Subscribe to my channel.
Okay guys, welcome to lesson 31, alright, where we will be discussing CSS Flex intro. Alright, so guys, just before we dive deep into CSS Flex intro, I want to welcome you guys to Codewithtec. This is a learning platform that we help at least give people more and more insight on web development and software development and so forth. So guys, thank you very much. As I've welcomed you to Codewithtec, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Without further ado guys, let's dive into it. Now on our previous lesson, we were discussing the grid system. We're discussing grid layout. We discussed that grid, they are two-dimensional or layout system that have to do with row and column, but unlike flex have to do with either a row or a column. Okay, it's a one-dimensional system. Now we continue this with our first flex understanding example. Okay, just before that, we need to understand that flex work perfectly with all and it support all browser features. All right, now we continue. So for this here, our first thing we'll be doing is we'll put our h1 element and say CSS Flex intro. All right, now with our CSS Flex intro, the next thing we want to do, we want to create a container in here. So we'll say div container. In this container here, we want to make three different divs here. The first div, we put the value in the one. Okay, just like that. Okay, so we'll paste three different divs there. We'll have 2 and 3. Okay, better still, we can make it 4 if we want to. All right, 4. So if you are working, you want to make it 4, up to you. All right, now the next thing we want to do here is we want to create our first and see how flex works. All right, how flex work. Now for our style sheet, we want to come into our header section here and let's say and comment out here, say internal styling. All right, instead of using external styling, we'll use an internal styling. So for start here, we will come here quickly. In here we start our start. All right, now the first thing we want to say container here. This should just be a container. All right, okay, this should just be a container. And now in this container here, we can say display. So instead of setting the display to grid, now we'll set our display to flex. All right, now after that, we'll use our background. Our background color will be this. Okay, it's such a blue. Now we save this. Now if we turn over this to see into the browser, open into the browser. Now as we open this into the browser, now the first thing we are seeing here is that we are seeing the 1 2 3, they are into a horizontal format. All right, they are into a horizontal format, but let's get something straight here. Okay, if we don't have this display flex, and then if we come back to our browser and refresh it, now it will be into a horizontal format or vertical format. Now it will be into a vertical format. Now this is a vertical format, guys. This is a vertical format. With this vertical format, once we ask our container to display flex, what will happen is that it's going to push out into a horizontal format. Like we said, flex work with a one dimension. All right, it doesn't carry on two-dimensional work. Good. So it will take row and work with row, or it take column and work with column. It doesn't work with all two at the same time. Now after doing this, we want to come down here and say dot container and say div. Right, now in here we want to give a background color. background color F1 F1. Good. The next thing we want to look at, margin, right? Now what makes this very important is like the modding, and it's like more easy to work with than that of grade system. Grade system, we use it particularly for table. All right, take for instance, you want to create the front end of a calculator. Now in such a case, you will need a grade system, all right, to help you out. Now next thing we say padding. Our padding should be 20 pixels. We get out of this, and then the font size should also be 30 pixels. Good. We save this. After saving this, if we come back to this place, we refresh it, boom, it happens. All right, now we have 1 2 3 and 4 here. Okay, so with Flex we can use our work, we can use so many other items within the Flex. Now let's take for instance, we can come back here and see if we can add some other items. All right, we'll just copy this and see if we can add some other items. We want to add 4 5 6 7 8. all right, we save it. Now if we come back here to our browser, refresh it, now you see. All right, so based on Flex helps you can work with multiple Flex items and push them in whatever location or whatever place that you want to push them, and give them whatever size margin padding that you want to give them. All right, but that doesn't work with grid. All right, it doesn't work with grid because grid work in the form of a table. All right, it work in the form of a table, so almost like a bar chart or bar graph, something like that. Now, so this is our intro on working with Flex. So guys, I hope we have learned something. Like I always say, this is Codewithtec. We always bring you things that will help your learning and speed it up. All right, something from beginner knowledge all the way to advanced. So guys, thank you very much for sticking around. This is our intro on understanding Flex. All right, so guys, CSS Flex intro, there is for that. All right, so guys, thank you very much. I hope that you found this video interesting, and I hope that you subscribe. Please guys, subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. See you guys in lesson 32.
Subscribe to my channel.